Hey guys, so this is my second video on how to play the flute, but before I can teach you anything about actually playing the flute, you need to first understand how to read music. So that's what I'm going to teach you guys in this video, is how to read music. So let's get started. Okay, so how to read music 101. Very first thing you need to know, this is a staff. Has 5 lines and 4 spaces. This is a treble clef. It's the only clef the flute will play in. And so now, the lines and spaces of the staff are E, G, B, D, F. Those are the lines. You can remember every good boy deserves fudge. Or, Elvis's guitar broke down Friday. Just come up with a little something to help you remember. And then the spaces spell out face. F-A-C-E. Those are the spaces, lines and spaces on the staff. Okay? And so now, that's going to be very, very important for when you go to play the flute, because the different fingerings are going to have these different letters associated with them. So now, next thing you need to know about how to read music is how to read key signatures. Now, key signatures are these different little symbols right after the treble clef that tell you what key you're in. Okay, so you have no sharps and no flats, you're in the key of C. 1 flat is the key of F. 1 sharp is the key of G. 2 flats is the key of B flat. 2 sharps is the key of D. 3 flats is the key of E flat. Ooh, moving along. 3 sharps is the key of A, 4 flats is the key of A flat, 4 sharps is the key of E, 5 flats is the key of D flat, 5 sharps is the key of B, 6 flats is the key of G flat, my bad, 6 sharps is the key of F sharp, 7 sharps is the key of C flat, and 7 sharps is the key of C sharp. Now, just something you'll need to know just in general. Most, if not all, of the flat keys, or except the key of F, everything that has a flat in it is going to be the key of blank flat. So 2 flats is the key of B flat, 3 flats is the key of E flat, etc., etc., etc. And all the ones with a sharp in it are going to be natural keys until you get up to 6 sharps. In that, 6 and 7 sharps, in that case, F sharp and C sharp. Okay? And now the order of drawing those is really, really simple. You just need to memorize this. For flats, it goes B, E, A, D, G, C, F. And for sharps, it's the other way around. F, C, G, D, A, E, B. Now on the staff, what that looks like, if you remember the lines and spaces on the staff, for flats, you start with B, and then you go down up to E, then you go down to A, then you go to D, and you just continue this list, down and up and down and up, for the sharps and flats. So, those are the key signatures, and you just need to memorize these, or a trick to remember is, when you have more than 1 flat, if you look at the flat, and then go to the second to last flat after that, that's the key signature. Remember, this line is B, so there are 2 flats. Go to the second to last flat, key of B flat. 3 flats, that's an E, second to last flat, key of E flat. Does that make sense? And now for sharps, if you look at the sharp, the last sharp, 1 step up, that's your key signature, okay? So flats, second to last flat, that's the key signature. Sharps, 1 line and or space up, that's the key signature. Got it? Okay, you'll next need to know how to read different note lengths. So, let me zoom in here so you can see what I am doing, slowly but surely. Okay, so for note values, a filled in circle, filled in note, that is a quarter note. It gets 1 beat, especially if you're in 4/4 time. Now, an open circle, an open note, that's a half note. It gets 2 beats. Now, an open circle or an open note with a dot after it is a dotted half note. Simple enough to remember, right? It gets 3 beats, because what this dot does is that it adds half of the note's value to itself. So if a half note gets 2 beats, the dot adds half of that, which is 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. Dotted half note gets 3 beats. Now, an open circle with no stem thingy attached to it, that's a whole note and it gets 4 beats. Remember, this is in 4/4 time, and it's the time signature. How you get a time signature is the top number is the number of beats per measure, and the bottom number is what note gets the beat. So in this 4/4 time, there will be 4 beats in a measure, and the quarter note gets the beat. Does that make sense? You know, remember, 4/4 time, 4 beats per measure, quarter note gets the beat. So now, keeping on with the note values, filled in circle, filled in note with a flag attached to it, that's called an 8th note, and it gets half of a beat. And then a filled in note with 2 flags attached to it is a 16th note. It gets a 1/4 of a beat. Remember, this is all if you're in 4/4 time. And so, especially with quarter notes and 16th notes, you can attach them. So if you attach 2 8th notes together, you put a little bar over it, that's half a beat, half a beat. This whole thing equals 1 beat. Alright? So those are most of the notes you're going to see. Of course, if you have 3 flags, the 32nd note, 4 flags, 64th note, and so on, you're not going to see many of those ever in music. So this little squiggly looking thing, it kind of looks like that, just a little bit. That is a quarter rest, gets 1 beat. This, where it kind of looks like a hat sitting on top of the line. See how it kind of looks like a hat just a little bit, especially if you draw the line, it looks like a hat. That's a half rest, gets 2 beats. So then, same concept as the notes, the hat looking thing with a dot next to it gets 3 beats. And then a whole rest, it's the hat thing flipped upside down. So like if you're walking along and you'll fall in the hole, it's a whole rest, it gets 4 beats. And then this here kind of looks like a 7 with a dot attached to it. It's an 8th rest, it's half a beat, etc., etc. Double that, 16th rest. You get the general idea. Something else you guys need to know. If you see 2 different notes like that are attached with this little curvy thing, that's called a tie or a slur. It means you're not going to articulate that next note, you're just going to kind of slide up to it without breathing, and you're not going to articulate the second note. It's called a tie or a slur. You know what a flat looks like? A flat looks like a B. A sharp is the hashtag symbol. A natural kind of looks like the little Nazi symbol a little bit, but it's not. That's what a natural looks like. Oh yes, and then dynamics. So P stands for piano, and that means quiet. F stands for forte, which means loud. Now there's an MP and an MF in between there. The M stands for mezzo, M-E-Z-Z-O. That means medium soft and medium loud. And then there's double P, that stands for pianissimo. If I can squeeze that in, it means very quiet. The issimo means very. So I'm going to write that here. Issimo means very. So on the opposite end of that, there's fortissimo with 2 F's. Fortissimo, and that means very loud. So you have all these different dynamic levels. Pianissimo, piano, mezzo forte, forte, and fortissimo. So yeah, just review all that stuff and you should be able to read music in no time. Just practice, and I'll see you guys next time with the next video.